seriously cannot believe this right now, but I am joined by the Dr. Shawn Baker. He has been a carnivore for 3 years now. He's an orthopedic surgeon, a world record holder. He hosts the podcast Human Performance Outliers. He has a new book out called The Carnivore Diet, which is quickly becoming like the Bible of all things carnivore. He is the CEO of the company MeatRx, which you can find at meatrx.com. Coaching, information, so much useful info for anyone considering a carnivore diet. And now Dr. Baker is here on my Zero Carb Life to talk to me. I am thrilled. Hey, Dr. Baker, thank you so much for doing this.
Well, Kelly, like I said, it's my pleasure. And I think it's very appropriate, to let people know that you and some of the other folks from Zeroing Out on Health and, Charles and, these folks have been doing this for 10 plus years now, or largely one of the reasons I explored this. And I remember you reading your story, and I guess you had your article in Women's World where they kind of misrepresented you like they always like to do with us crazy carnivores. They try to make us out as nut jobs,
Yes.
But yeah, it's certainly what I did is because you guys had the courage to do what you did first, and so I want to just thank you guys for doing that. And it is absolutely an honor to talk to you and some of the other folks that have been doing this a while. And I'm so glad to see you guys becoming more vocal and public about this, because we need to see the people that have been doing it longest. And I know for a while we're just kind of staying in that one little area, and no one was messing with you, and it was kind of a nice place, but obviously it's blowing up. I guess I've had something to do with that a little bit, but it's obviously in the mainstream media and more, and so having you guys out there is examples, I think, is great. And it's always nice. Like I said, there's nothing like experience. I know we got a lot of new people in this arena, and they've all got sort of their theories and and then there's what works, and I think that's a real fun part. So anyway, my pleasure. And I'm happy to talk about anything or anything we can. So
all right. Well, so part of what you just addressed, why some of us kind of, I guess. Well, I never really went away. So for the past several years, I've had this blog, and I did a few mainstream things like a Daily Mail article and a Good Housekeeping article in the Women's World where they put a giant avocado next to my head. But I didn't go away. But I will say I kind of got quieter because of the topic we're talking about today, and that is the hate and vitriol that is sometimes spewed at people when you hear the word carnivore. Now, you get a lot of love from this community. We adore you. I'm not talking about us. You're the man, all right? I'm talking about outside of this community. I was getting, and I know you do too, because you're really gutsy. You just post screenshots of your hate mail, and then you address it. You come at it. I was getting hate mail saying things like, you should have your children taken away. You should be ashamed of yourself, commenting on my morals and my beliefs. And it was a lot to take in. And it kind of did make me want to go back into the shadows and take a break for a little bit. And now I'm feeling like the world is a little more ready. It's a little more kind. I'm feeling a little bit more gutsy because I've gotten a little older and wiser. And then there's you. I've seen how you let it roll off. And like I say, you just screenshot those bad boys and come at them, and it's kind of made me feel more gutsy too. So thank you for that. That's huge. So what is up with the hate, right? Do you not find it kind of odd how angry people get about this?
I think anytime you challenge someone's deeply held beliefs, whether it's diet, politics, religion, it's disturbing to people. And I think this is really confronting some long-held beliefs about nutrition. And I've repeatedly said, look, we just don't know what we think we know. Whether nutrition science in general is poor. And we are seeing these people have success. And it's not none of us are advocating that the whole world needs to go carnivore or that it's the only thing people should do. None of us have ever said that. But we're just saying, look at us. This is an option for people, and we should you know, be open enough to entertain that option. Now, in my view, I think quite honestly, for a lot of people suffering illness, this should be one of the early options people try. It shouldn't be the last ditch effort. I mean, why waste 10 years when you got something that may be more effective? And I think we're fortunately at a point where we're going to have a major study on this, and it's going to give some physicians some more comfort in prescribing this type of thing. But I think that the fact that people are getting success for this makes just people angry, and it upsets them, and it makes them reevaluate where they're at. And it's like, you know, like just because I'm successful, it might make people uncomfortable because then they have to question their own, you know, their own beliefs and where they're at. And if they're not successful, do they believe the wrong things? And a lot of people get angry. And, you know, and of course, for me, I'm obviously, I kind of instigate and provoke some people somewhat sometimes, you know, just because I'm like,
No.
well, obviously we're sort of directly in conflict with what vegans believe and their ethic and ideological beliefs are. And I like to point out that those things are based on really bad information or misinformation, or actually sometimes outright deliberate lying. But so I like to expose that. And, you know, I get a lot of haters. I mean, I shouldn't say I get a lot. I get some. If I look at the overall, you know, what I've experienced, it's probably 98% positive. I mean, it's always, you know, a lot of people that, like I said, this is a new thing with Joe Rogan coming out. There are those people that comment on it, and then there's both people who have actually done it. And the people that have actually done it, and I'm very sort of happy to see Joe Rogan actually gave it a go, and he did it for 30 some days, and he's like, wow, I'm stunned by how good I feel. So now you have a different sort of thing, and I think this is a shift we're starting to see. So, you know, I mean, and there's always going to be people that are going to be opposed to this. And I honestly, I don't really care. I mean, all I'm looking forward to is, you know, reaching as many people as possible as this is an option to try. Because, you know, you look around, I mean, you're in North Carolina and you walk out to the grocery store and you see all these people that are clearly suffering. And you just want, you know, you look in the grocery cart and like, where is the nutrition? There's actually no nutrition in your grocery cart. You want to just grab them by the ears and shake them. You know, it's like, you can't. You know, and again, this hate mail or somebody, you know, sticks and stones. You know, sticks and stones may break my bones. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been through so much worse, you know, in my life physically, and you know, from just actual real stuff, and not this silly petty some guy on the keyboard type of stuff. So that doesn't really bug me much.
Awesome. You know, when I do get really negative comments, you're right. It's never from somebody who's given this a real go, because that's somebody that's at least open-minded enough, right? And typically, if somebody gives it a real go, they do see, even if they don't lose, you know, 50 pounds immediately, a lot of people do see immediate health benefits enough to realize, okay, there's a reason you're doing this. It's not going to kill you. You know, they can feel, wow, I feel nourished, and they feel benefits. But when I do get hate mail, it'll be something like about the morality of eating the animals. How could you do this to the animals? And here's my thought about that. And I know you have a lot of thoughts when it comes to that. But I, as a human, I did try, even for a little while, I tried vegetarian when I was quite young. I definitely gave the standard American diet a really solid go. I mean, like, really a long time, 24 years. It didn't work out for me. I was sickly. I was covered in boils. I was obese. I was infertile. I was failing as a human. I had no confidence. I was struggling. And then I changed my diet. If I were a lion in a zoo and I were put on a salad diet, and these vegetarians were to watch a lion in a zoo dying, right? This lion's being fed the wrong diet. It's eating salad all day. The lion's hair is falling out. The lion is suffering and miserable. Would they not be opposed to that? I feel like most vegetarians would say you need to feed the lion what it's meant to eat, I think.
You know, this is the thing. They assume that because some of them had success, you know, and there's supplements that they can take, that we all need to do that and we all can thrive, when clearly we see people that can't do it. And you know, what I'm seeing day in and day out is that for some people, in fact, a large percentage of people, having meat in their diet, whether it's, you know, some percentage to even up to 100%, you know, leads to health. And, you know, at the point of is, you know, do we let these people suffer so you can have your ethical belief about animals. I mean, and you shouldn't put your ethic, it's like telling everybody they need to be a Catholic or a Muslim or whatever, or a Buddhist. I mean, that's up to you to decide what your beliefs are with regard to ethics on eating. And you can get into the food production. I mean, there's nothing you can do as a human being that's not going to cause planetary environmental impact, animal death. I mean, just having anything from a consumer standpoint has resulted in some sort of animal suffering and death. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's food production or clothing production or housing production, car production, all of it impacts the environment, all of it impacts animals. And so to say, I'm going to draw this very specific line and this is what my ethics are, and everybody better, fall in line with me, it's not practical for the average person, and some of us, I point to the point when we're talking about environmental impacts. When you were overweight and you had all these medical issues and you were seeing the doctors, no doubtedly, you were contributing to an industry that provides 10% of our greenhouse gases, the healthcare system. Healthcare system is 10% of our greenhouse gases.
Oh.
You probably rarely need to go to the doctor now,
No.
relative to where you were before. And so you've now contributed less to that system. And we can say, well, cows, because I know you eat a lot of hamburger patties made out of cows, and we all know cows die. I mean, it's not a secret. But when you're eating those cows, that's a 2%, greenhouse impact versus 10% being a sick human. And so sick human beings are not environmentally sustainable. So whatever you got to do to get human beings not sick,
Yes.
it's still going to be better than anything we can do from the agricultural standpoint.
Oh, I love that. I agree. And when people do give humans a hard time for eating the way that they feel best, I do want to say, are we not at least as valuable as this animal that's caged? You would want it fed properly. Don't you want us fed properly? I feel so much better this way. I have a life. I made 3 beautiful little humans. I could not have, I was unable to conceive, and I was unable to lead this life. I literally was unhappy with my life. And now I have found, joy and health and babies. And to know that somebody would put, the cow ahead of that. I value the cow. My kids, they know where their meat comes from. I live near a lot of cow pastures, and we'll roll down the windows and yell, "Thank you, cows," because we're grateful for them. It's not that I have some big hatred towards the cows. Cows are amazing creatures. And the creatures of the earth can have at me when I'm gone, circle of life, right? I will someday die too. If the lion had a chance, he'd have me right now. We're part of it. I just don't get why there's so much hatred for us for participating in this circle that we all know is a real thing. Animals eat animals. It's not like we're doing something they aren't doing. Okay. Whew. I'm getting all worked up, Shawn. All right. So I told you I'm going to keep this really short for you, man. I just wanted, first of all, to tell you thank you for everything you do for this community. You do put up with a lot. I see it, not just what you post, but in the comments, and you're brave. You are crazy gutsy. I know you are a soldier, so it's not surprising.
You get one body to live in. It's it, and no one else can tell you how you should feel, or what you should do. I mean, you got to find that out for yourself. And I mean, you don't eat to please your doctor or your sister or your brother or your mother. You eat to make yourself, feel your best. And if it means you're eating hamburger patties every day, so like I know you do a lot of that, and that works well, then good for you. And don't worry about what people think you're going to die of in 30 or 40 or 50 years, because no one knows. I mean, that's the biggest thing. We have no data, no nutritional science can tell us that. And the people that pretend we do they're just full of bull. I mean, they don't know. So I like to say, take people that are diseased and move them into the not diseased category. And that's the best we can do. And it seems to be a carnivore style or a zero carb diet, whatever you want to call it, works really, really well for that, for a lot of people. Not every single person on the planet, but I mean more people than not, which is really interesting.
Agreed. Thank you, Shawn. And I look forward to working with you in any way I ever can.
We really enjoyed having you over at Meet RX. I mean, that was fun. And I know
That was fun.
folks enjoyed it. So like I said, hopefully we'll continue to see that grow. I like the interaction of it. I think it's a good platform. You know, the problem again, and I know you guys have had the Facebook group for 10 years, but you know, at any day they can just make that disappear, you know, and we're seeing that. So that's scary. So we want to have a safe place that we can do this, and we can hold millions of people on this platform the way it's being built. So it's hopefully we'll have that coming. So that capacity. So anyway.
Happy to do it again anytime.
I
So
really
thank you.
appreciate what you guys doing, what you're also doing. And, you know, like I said, as you know, you read my book, it has to be to a broad audience, but it was definitely had the zeroing in on health philosophy
Yes.
for the most part, you know, because I know there's people out there saying you must eat organ meats and you got to eat raw meat. And I you know, I think that's fine if you want to do it, but you know, you guys have seen that come and go over the years. People get really excited. They think they know everything. And then it all comes back to, we're just eating hamburger patties and steaks and, you know, doing just right. That's what happens long term. So.
Cool. Thank you.
All right.
I promised you I would respect your time. So thank you. I'll see you on the internet.
Okay, I gotta go eat. I gotta eat some steak.
Sounds good. Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.